In this Planet Zoo video, let's make a dog house habitat. Let's give these Japanese Raccoon dogs a home that they will love, and also a home that the guest of our zoo will love. With multiple external viewing areas and improvised custom seating, this is a really high detailed habitat which adds to the immersiveness and the realism of the enclosure. When I first started off this habitat, I wanted to start creating something what resembles a dog cage. Now that might sound really cruel, but there's nothing cruel about it. You see, as the habitat goes along, it's a beautiful habitat for them. So I started off with this plaster box and this mesh fronted fence. Going to add little details in there like window shutters to make it look like it's bolted in. It's all about the details in Planet Zoo, isn't it? Add a little guest barrier as well there to separate the guests from the actual habitat barrier, and add a little bit of floor detailing. And I'll show you how it came along. I just basically duplicated it and put it on the other side, and it looks something like this. And then in between, I've left a larger gap to create that third larger viewing area. Now once again, we're going to do the two barrier system. So first, let's build a railing for our guests to keep them away from the actual habitat barrier, which we're going to create now, once again with the mesh pieces and with the same metal pieces and the same window hinges bolted into the plaster like you can see here, just adding to that more realistic effect really. Zoomed out, it looked like this. You can see how it's all coming together, but we needed a little bit more greenery, so let's add some planters with mulch and foliage. And I'm going to show you how I did the foliage here. Now with the foliage with me, it's always a good idea to mix different colours, different lengths and different types of foliage. With a small low down planter like this, I didn't want to overbear it. So I wanted to keep all the foliage to quite a small level. I didn't want tall trees burring over the guest and viewing area. I wanted this to just be kind of like a little subtle planter. And it's going to be a special little planter as well. You can see me just layering in those different colours with the drin grass and the buffalo grass. I'm going to add some little plants and me just looking to see what works. Have a look and see what colour schemes work and what colours mix with others. I wanted some like dry, maybe even dead plants in there, so that's what I do. But yeah, like I just said, this is going to be a special little planter which you will see me in a minute, because we're going to actually build seats in there. Add in some fallen foliage as well, some leaf litter. But here is the seats, just two wooden pieces. I just lowered the plaster pieces down, which you can see me just altering it now. And then I just put some of the conservation wood pieces, the cladding, I think it's called, to make some custom made seats. And then got an actual seat out to make sure that there was at the right height, which there wasn't. I figured I needed to just increase them a little bit, so I just altered them to make them actually look like they're on scale. Now, these are not functional, they are just for show, but they look bloody good to me. And then we come to the custom made walls. Now this is going to be the backstage area, and it's going to be the hard shelter for our animals, so we need to make sure we get it right. You know me, I love creating custom made stuff, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just layering these metal pieces. I think this is actually from the new pack. This piece kind of looks like it joins and secures these wood pieces in place. These are the conservation wood pieces once again, and then you can see me just altering the colours because I want one lighter, one darker, one lighter, one darker, alternating throughout this wall. And then I'm just going to simply duplicate it down, and then I can easily then duplicate it on the grid, because we used the on the grid system. You can see when I copy it over, it works quite well. And now we just need to put everything into place and start creating the actual plan of the whole of the backstage area and the hard shelter really. And it's starting to come together now, as you can see. Now I had to create a smaller piece to go around the top of these boxes I created, the dog cage as I originally called them towards the start of the video. It makes the habitat sound really bad, that, doesn't it? A dog cage, but it is a dog habitat, but it's not a dog cage. Anyway, I'm just chatting shit at this point. Now I needed to leave a gap as well. Now this gap is going to provide access for our animals to get from the outside area to the inside hard shelter area. So I simply deleted some of the wall. Quite easy, right? And then we needed a backdrop as well to make it look a little bit more realistic, a little bit more homely for our animals and more visually appetizing really to our guest. So I used the backdrops from my Steam Workshop page. I've used these so many times in a lot of my builds, and it just brings the back of any viewing area alive. Now, apart from the actual foliage on the outside bit, it was time to work on the inside bit, because the outside bit was nearly pretty much done. So on the left and the right hand side, you can see I've used these plaster pieces, and once you've got one side, you've got the other, haven't you? So I just need to duplicate and advance move it and layer the bottom of this with plaster. Now animals will traverse over this and they'll have a comfy little area to sit in. These wood pieces as well are just some of the planks. I always like to use them as a little kind of like bottom area to stop the animal, well, give the impression that the animal is stopped from scratching the walls. Now you can see how I've placed the walls here. Now I've sectioned it off. So we've got two sections here, which is going to be the hard shelter, and if need be, the zookeepers and vets can section off different animals from other animals. And at the back there, you can see where our actual backstage area is going to be and where our habitat gate is going to be located. And where I'm currently just placing these borders down, these trims around. This is what I always do as well on my backstage areas. I just create a kind of little border, and it's all about the detailing for me. And I do like to create high detailed habitats because it just brings it more alive and it makes it look a hell of a lot more realistic. And creating a border, like a plaster border with these wood pieces, what you can see me doing here, is just something what I like to do in every backstage area. Remember, this is where we're going to have all our props. We're also going to have our habitat gate here as well, and where we're going to start off our null barriers to wrap around our habitat. Then moving on to more of the barriers here, you can see I'm going to create some more custom barriers, and it's going to kind of intrude into the backstage area now, because that's what you would find in the backstage area of a zoo. It's an access point for our zookeepers and for our vets, and we're going to place our habitat gate within this custom made mesh fences that you can currently see me building. Now at the bottom we've got mesh, and then we've got, sorry, not at the bottom we've got mesh, we've got on the bottom we've got plaster, and then in the middle we've got mesh, and we're just going to create quite a high detailed mesh barrier here. I'm going to use these so it looks like these kind of like hold in place the mesh, and then we've got the metal pieces once again out of the new pack, and brilliant, just to give a little bit more depth and a little bit more weight to this barrier. Again, trying to really concentrate on the realism here with everything I build, really concentrating on the realism. And then, like I always say, once you've got one side, you've got all of them. So I could just easily duplicate that bad boy over and then turn it around. Apart from this plaster piece, I actually forgot to do. And this is how it came out looking, lads and ladies. This is pretty much done. You can see I've added some of like a little watering hole and a little feeding station at the front there as well, and extended that a little bit more further out. Those stations are on Caesar Creates workshop page, so if you want them, just type in Caesar Creates in the workshop. I'm sure you'll find him. He's a brilliant other content creator on YouTube as well. You probably already know who he is if you're watching my Planet Zoo videos. But yeah, put them in. There's no point creating themselves when someone else has created them. That's the whole point of the Steam workshop page. And now we can start adding the props to this backstage area and bringing it alive. And watch how alive it does come. Oh yeah, I've added the habitat gate there, and at the back I've added some facilities. But watch when I bring the props in, how this area just changes so much. Look at that. And for me in Planet Zoo, it is just bringing little areas like this alive and adding to that realistic effect. You can see we've got all the props you would expect: shovels, watering cans. You can see the habitat gate is in there. We've got buckets. We've even got little holes what have come loose. I'll get rid of the props again just to show you. And watch when we add the props, it just changes everything, doesn't it? We've even got a windowsill with plants. We've got benches. We've got a little notice board and some ladders. Everything you would expect in real life. And what we'll always advise in Planet Zoo when creating a backstage area like that and putting props in is build the roof last. So you've got more visual capability. There's more light shining into the area to be able to put the props in more accurately, and then build the roof last. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm building the roof. I'm going to start off just placing these simple plaster pieces down on the grid like so. I've narrowed the meter to 1. I've also put an off the grid plaster piece on the top to make thinner roofs, and then I can just delete all the on the grid pieces, and then we've got a thinner plaster roof. I have got a full roof tutorial. If I'm going too fast in any point in this video and you think, how did you do that? I've got a tutorial on pretty much everything in Planet Zoo. Just go on my YouTube page, which you're probably already on because you're watching my video. But yeah, just go on there and just have a look at my tutorials. I've got a roof tutorial. I've got every tutorial you can ever think of. And then we're just going to close this off with a little bit of a trim. Another thing I like to do as well. It just completes the look for me. So we're just going to add some of the conservation pieces. Once again, we're going to use a lighter colour as well. And we're just going to go to every corner of this building and just put that little trim in. it makes everything look better to me. That's the only reason I've got to putting them in, actually. They don't have any functionality. It just looks better, doesn't it? And for the entrance, I added this door. Now, this door is actually the door for my butterfly house. If you ever saw that video, I just saved it as a blueprint and put it on here because I thought it fitted quite well. Now, with everything in Planet Zoo, like I've previously said, it's all about bringing it to life. You can see how I brought it to life with the props inside of this backstage area. And now we're going on to the roof. Now, we could just have a plain roof. But why? Let's bring it to life. Let's make it look more realistic. So I created these holes. Now these holes are going to be for windows, which you can see me putting in here. We're going to add some solar panels to the roof. No, they don't have functionality, but it looks bloody good. We're going to add all the electrics, the pipework and the air conditioning and some fallen leaf litter and dirt onto that roof to bring it alive. And that's exactly what we did with the main roof for the hard shelter as well. But we put it on a slant this time and we added a trim of the plaster pieces once again. All the leaf litter and windows are on there. And we even added a grid where you can see the leaf litter at the bottom to give the impression that rain can fall through there and exit the roof. And that's why it's on a slant also. Now inside we need to add the foliage on the outside bit, but inside we need to just clean everything up and make everything just look a little bit more better. We need to add like wood pieces and trims and door frames, and we need to add more fences as well to give the impression that we can separate these animals if need be. Now with the external foliage, this is how it came out looking. Now I skipped putting it in because it actually didn't take me very long at all and it was quite basic. But the number one tip I always give, and I did do when I created the planter in this video, if you would have been listening, you can see I've just added different lengths and different colours. You can see I've got drained grass. Honestly, if you are stuck for creating foliage areas in Planet Zoo, just use buffalo grass or drained grass. Just type in grass. Just use one of them. Honestly, it changed your life. But our animals are in as well, and look at these things. What's it doing? Licking its foot. Hello, buddy. Oh, doggy. Hello, doggy. Ready? I have added some little bits of detail as well, which I'll go through now. You can see I've got sunshades here. I've got a little custom made sign here. Obviously, fuck knows what it says. And then I've got the all important education boards here as well, looking all good and ready for our guests to come in. I've also added some lights, so I'll just show you what this looks like at night. It's nothing special, but just quite simple lighting. You can see we've got red on the inside of the habitat and we've got a nice glow of lights on the external part of the habitat. Now, like I said, all the little bit of details and cleaning up has been done and added. You can see I've got a little fence here. It gives the impression that our zookeepers or vets can press this button and separate our animals by using this electronic fence. We've added little trims around door frames and stuff like that and just cleaned it up. You can see I've added the same gates here as well, just smaller versions. And yeah, there we go. There it is done. And for you lot who love downloading my stuff off the Steam Workshop page, you'd be happy to know I'm actually putting this one on the Steam Workshop page because I can. The last like 3 of my builds have not been able to go on because either one doesn't like fit with the null barriers, like I can't get the null barriers around to fit everything in, or 2, if I do not put it as a habitat, I can only have, I think it's 4,000 pieces. This build alone is way over 4,000 pieces. So, but yeah, I've managed to do it with the habitat barriers. So if you do want this in your own zoos, Steam Workshop link in the description down below. And while you are down there looking for that, if you're not already subscribed, then please do so if you want to see more Planet Zoo content that I create. And if you subscribed or you've not subscribed, do me a massive favour, guys. Just press that like button. It helps me so much. Helps this video inspire more people and give more inspiration to create better habitats in Planet Zoo to other Planet Zoo creators. But with that being said, I do hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Adam, and I will catch you in the next Planet Zoo video.